Hi, I'm Ashley from Goss. Today we are going to be here with the maker of the Duke, going over some of the finer points of use and why you want a Duke. So Goss, today we're going to talk about the Duke. First things first, why would somebody want the Duke?
Well, somebody who would want the Duke would be somebody who is basically tired of their mech mods dying off within 45 minutes, which, depending on who you are, that may or may not happen. But I use 0.5 everything. I use everything from mech mods to regulated mods to even Pro Berries and DNA 20s. And I can use a mech almost all day. But for somebody who's running 0.2, 0.3 ohms and they both want that little extra kick and they want their batteries to last a little bit longer and be more consistent, then a high-powered regulated mod like the Duke sort of comes through and shines in that regard.
Excellent. What are some of the finer points of the Duke?
That's exactly the thing about the Duke. There's not that many fine points really about it. That's not to say that it's bad. It's just simple. I didn't want to overcomplicate the mod, and I also wanted it to be compact. Even though it's a large box, there's not much else I can fit inside of it. I don't like wasted space in mods. I like things to be tight. I didn't want to make it overly large. The original box that it was actually supposed to be in is about an inch or two wider and taller. But I was able to shrink it down, and the prototype was actually made as a dare to see whether we could actually get all the parts in it or not.
Hey, that's a good mod from a dare. Things to do and not to do with the Duke.
Don't use batteries that are rated over 15 ohm because the chip itself doesn't actually monitor the voltage. The chip monitors the amperage coming in from the batteries, so if you put Sonys in it or MNKEs, it can drain them down too far because they still keep delivering the amperage that the chip needs to operate.
Okay. What about atomizers?
Atomizers? The only atomizers I wouldn't use on the Duke, and this isn't to say completely don't use them, it's just say to use them with caution, is Trident clones, Helios clones, RSSTs, anything with a pin that can stick out too far have the potential of damaging the center pin. Similar to what used to happen with the silver bullet back in the day. People would put RBAs and connectors on it that were too long, and it would end up depressing the pin and squishing the insulator, and they would have to replace it, which is exactly what I have to do. So just be careful, only tighten until it's snug, and yeah, just treat it with a little bit of care.
As for your resistance?
Resistance, the mod is rated 10 amp, but reports from customers have stated that it's capable of a little bit more. I kind of consider this a little bit like an overclocking. You can run as low as 0.5 on it reliably, and people can pull out around 72 watts at full 6 volts with that resistance on it. And now, even though the chip isn't rated for that, that's pretty much what I'm saying it's capable of doing, because I've had mods, some of the first Dukes are still running, and they've been running 0.5 since they were bought. So long as they keep doing it, I'll keep telling people they can.
Hey, it's fair enough. Great mod, great construction on it. Like you said, simple, very effective.
It's a big box with a dial and a button on it.
It's effective.
It's effective.
It's effective. No, why no, like, questions I've had people ask, why no LCD screen, things of that nature?
Mostly it's space. I mean, when I go to modify the box or change something, I look at what I've already got. There was another variant going to be made. The original idea for the Archduke was to drop the batteries down to 18500s and put a voltmeter there. That way people could sort of sacrifice a little bit of battery life for a meter for a little bit more features. And another idea was to drop the batteries down and put a DC switch and a socket in so that they could plug the Duke in. But I found that most people, average vapors who vape around 15-20 watts, will get about 2 or 3 days out of it anyway. So plugging it in really wasn't a big concern because no one was really complaining about lack of battery life. And as far as voltmeters are concerned, most people have been using inline meters or just adjusting it to taste anyway. So it was kind of like fixing problems not many people had, or people that did have it, there weren't really enough to justify doing it.
Makes sense. So, say somebody over-tightens their atomizer, which I'm sure people are going to do because I see it daily. Somebody cranks it down. What's it going to do?
Generally, if somebody over-tightens the atomizer and it ends up breaking the pen and I have to end up repairing it. The cool thing about the Duke is all repairs are free. It used to be that customers paid for parts, but now that I've got so much crap laying around my shop where I can just pick up what someone's missing and put it in, then they really don't have to worry about paying me for repairs. I have a day every week when I ship repairs. I have a repair log that I take care of every week. And that's not just, I don't want to make you think that my mod falls apart all the time. It's just, I have repairs and mods and upgrades on a list every week.
Now, as far as the upgrades, say, which version?
You guys have the 1.5.
Okay.
And the 1.5 added, I no longer remove any post on the inside of the box. So the box essentially stays the same. I no longer modify the box except for put 3 holes in it. But if there ever is an upgrade that you want done to your box, unless it involves the chassis,
okay,
then it's free.
Okay, if it involves the chassis.
If it involves the chassis, then I have to move all the parts out of the old one and put them into the new one, which is essentially like making an entirely new Duke. It'll cost a little bit, but it won't be as much as making them all over again. Now,
I'm just saying, you've got an updatable mod.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
One of my buddies once told me it was the Majin Buu of e-cigarettes. You can break it, you can punch it, you can blow it up, you can throw it down the street. I don't suggest doing any of these things.
Please don't.
But I'll fix it. It's a thing. If it breaks, I'll fix it, because to me, I'm not so much servicing the customer, I'm servicing my mod, because these are my children, and I want them together. And
Functioning.
I don't want any of them broke or mistreated. So be nice to your mods, and if you drop them, pick them up and put them in the home and send them back to them.
From the mouth of the maker himself. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot us an email. The entire public.
Sorry I'm vaping during an interview. I just like to.
We're not at Walmart.
No.